Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Tesla Life number 181. Oh, got the music still going?
Yeah, nice palindrome number there.
We're still testing the system. But thank you for joining us. Here we are on, of course, the 23rd of December, otherwise known as Festivus, is today. So this is, of course, the Festivus edition of the Tesla Life, and we welcome you to join us today. With us, as always, we have Mr. Casey Green joining us from the DC area. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing great. Tesla had promised me a check a year ago, and I finally got it yesterday.
Nice.
Yeah, they did some work and refunded it, and then I had to bird dog it, and then some poor employee, not poor as in no money, but poor as in he had to deal with me, and he had to deal with the pushback from corporate. He managed to come through. Accounting did their thing, and I am feeling much better about customer service now.
Always good to get a refund when you've been offered a refund.
Right. Sure. If they had said, hey, go deal with yourself, buddy, I would have been like, oh, this sucks, but okay. But when they say, hey, we're going to do it, and it's like, that's a significant amount of money. Where's my money? Where's my money?
That's going to count against them for the end of the year, right?
I'm sorry.
And Tesla missed their mark by $400.
Just a couple $100, they missed their mark, and we'll know who to blame. Okay. Also joining us, as per usual, Mr. Patrick Connor from the West Coast. How are you today, sir?
Hi, I'm good. Happy Festivus to everybody out there. We always have an airing of grievance in the chat area on YouTube. So, hey, it is the season.
Yeah, we're going to start with the feats of strength and then move right on to the grievances. Yes.
Yeah, so it is the 23rd. That means that Monday was the 21st, which was Solstice. So happy Solstice to everybody. That got me looking around on the web, and I was looking at some stuff related to the solstice, and they said that I'm not a big astrology fan, but that this was officially when the age of Pisces ended and the age of Aquarius starts. And it's interesting to think about, those massive epochs of, the last 2,000 years and the things that how life has changed during that, and what's it going to be like 2,000 years from now. And I was thinking it shouldn't be age of Aquarius. It should be age of Equarius, where the E is for electric, of course. We should move.
There we go.
Make everything electric and 100% renewably powered. And that's the new epoch that we should be shooting for. And we should start that change right now so that we can bring in, of course, what? A future free from fossil fuels. There we go.
Fantastic.
Tie the whole story.
Another F, yes. I did want to mention also that for those of you who knew it was the winter solstice that we've reached, the great thing about that date is that every day after it, we get more sunlight. So we've reached the deepest, darkest part of the winter, and now every day it gets a little brighter, a little earlier, so a little later. So we stay with more daylight hours as time moves forward from here on out.
A couple more kilowatt hours on the solar panels.
That's right. That's right.
And if we have any viewers in the southern hemisphere, give us that daylight, baby.
We're taking it now. We're taking it back.
That's right. Never even thought of that. But yeah, we've lived long and hard with this enough. So we want the sunlight back. Absolutely.
Give it back. It's mine.
Hey, speaking of solar, so I'm all excited because tomorrow is the day I get my Powerwalls installed. Yeah, very exciting.
You've got the recorder ready, right, Patrick? You're going to get some definite feedback from you on this installation. That's going to be great.
Yeah, from a nice socially distance with my mask and face shield on, I'll try to record it. We'll see if they let me.
And then you'll have a useful section on the app when you swipe past your other car instead of an advertisement.
Oh, I see my solar stuff now. So.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize we had Tesla solar.
I already have the solar panels. Yeah, now I'm just adding the Powerwalls.
Yeah, my solar is non-Tesla solar, so I get an ad for Powerwalls and Tesla solar.
Oh, I see.
Well, let's get started. We got a ton of news. We got to get through it today because, of course, Tesla never sleeps, and this week is no difference this week at all. And Casey's got the first story about the Boring Company.
The Boring Company, one of my favorites. So they've got the Vegas Loop. They've had some changes. The Las Vegas Council got together and voted on it. It's no longer going to be a transportation network to get you in between the different convention centers. It's now going to be a citywide transportation network, which now means that the Boring Company will own the tunnels, and each place will own the stations. So if you want to ride the network, you got to pony up for a station. But what that does allow is it allows the airport to jump in. It allows them to go deeper and deeper into the city. And so now they've got themselves I've been heard to describe it as a mini subway. I think it's going to be better than a subway based on what they've showed us from the Boring Company. Can't wait to ride it.
Yeah. And we should be getting some news about the first extension, which of course is just the convention center. But that is supposed to be done by January. So, we're about a month away from the end of January. So I'm expecting some sort of rave that happens in the underground tunnel and some video, I'm sure. So we're expecting that soon.
And if you were expecting an invite, well, look at 6 other people you're expecting an invite and expect them to cut it. But there'll be one of you left. keep it distanced.
Yeah, the cool thing about this method is, well, Tesla's not using trains; they're using their cars. So if you want to have a spur that goes off somewhere, that's fine, no problem. The cars can just go there, and it's not like it has to take the entire train with it. So that is just one really great method that this system is using that makes it different from a subway. It would be impossible to just add a bunch of stops, add 1 3 blocks over there, 1 5 blocks over there, one that's not even on the main loop, with a system that had to be just one big loop. Now this means that any convention center or hotel or casino that wants to add a stop, as long as they're willing to pay for the tunnel there and that stop, they can just connect to this, and bam, they're in the network.
It also means that if they go bankrupt somehow, if somebody happens to bankrupt a casino, that they could get a little bit of money out of it by saying, hey, this piece of property is on the Boring Loop. You just got to pay the rent.
Right. It makes that more valuable
business
property.
Can come to that. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Then there's the other benefit that you don't have to, assuming that it's not at full capacity, you don't have to wait for a schedule like you do with a subway. There's always going to be a car just dwelling there waiting on you. So you get in and then it just gets replaced, which also means that Tesla and the Boring Company don't have to do as much places to store their own cars because they'll be at the stations waiting on people. So unless they're just over capacity, if they're running anywhere near what they're built for, then everything will be at a station or in transit. So you'll have a couple cars for maintenance, and that's about it.
Right. And say there's a convention where a bunch of people are going to that convention in, say, the morning. Well, the cars just can leave empty and go to other places to pick people up. And like you said, so that means that they don't have to have like room for all the cars at any one spot. Just the empty ones drive to go somewhere else to pick somebody else up. And as long as you have enough total parking spots in the whole system, that's no problem.
What will be interesting to find out is how many cars are actually used as the system grows. Like, are we going to be looking at 5,000 cars underneath Las Vegas that are queued up and ready to go when it gets to full size? I have no idea, but the growing amount of Teslas is certainly going to help Tesla's bottom line too, because of course they got to be purchased and made and sold. So
I'm used.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So the question there is, are they going to use that steering wheel cap system that Elon talked about, or are they just going to lock it in, or how are they going to deal with somebody yanking the wheel while it's in full self-drive mode?
Yep.
Yeah, I guess they're going to take the steering wheel out.
And then just use the summon from the Tesla laptops to get them into the maintenance bay.
new software pack, I'm sure, in the cars to able to handle the tunnel drive. emergency button or things of that nature probably have to be added. It's going to be very interesting to see when the first, and I believe the first production when they actually start it, the demonstration, I think it's going to have a driver. It's not going completely autonomous until they crawl a bit, then walk, then they can run.
Yeah, and there's no need to take the steering wheel out if you've got an employee sitting in that spot.
Yeah.
Right.
And then once you're ready, just unbolt it and see what happens.
Right. I would assume 10 cars per station.
That sounds
and
good.
So every time they add a station, they'd have to add another dozen cars or so. I don't know. That's just as a guess.
And then, like you said, for high volume, it'll be interesting to see how they handle that.
Yeah.
They've got a plan. So.
Well, it's coming. Next story, LG is going to be supplying high-content nickel batteries to Giga Shanghai in 2021. So this is, not the normal batteries we were talking about. This is from Battery Day when they indicated that some of the higher use cars are going to get a higher content of nickel in those batteries. And apparently LG is on board to help supply some of that to Giga Shanghai. Now, what it doesn't say is what is the format of this battery that's going in at Giga Shanghai. Right now, of course, it's the 2170 cell. That's all that they have. Oh, well, I'm sorry, it's not all they have. They do have, prismatic packs that are used in the Made in China Model 3 SR Plus. So there are two types of battery packs there. So it'll be interesting to see has this changed to the 4850?
4680.
4680, yes.
Right.
Has it changed for maybe the long range car? I don't know. But I understood from Battery Day that the high content nickel was for the more performance based cars.
Which is perfectly in line because they just got their approval to build Model 3 Performance in China.
Oh, that does kind of add up.
Yeah, and you can make them with the new cells, or you can make them with the old cell cans. So you could see just high nickel 2170s.
Yep.
Or you can see them move to the 4860s.
4680s.
4680s. Too many numbers.
It was much easier when there was one can size.
One size. 18650.
Yeah. 18650s was all we had to know.
Yeah, and this is no surprise to see LG in it because LG has been there almost from the beginning, or even from the beginning, just as long as Panasonic has been there, if not just slightly behind them. In fact, the Roadster upgrade kits were always LG cells, not Panasonic cells.
Yeah, they're not cobalt free, but with
They're
the high
cobalt,
nickel
right?
content, they're lower cobalt.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, what did they say, 5%?
Yeah, less than 5% cobalt, 90% nickel.
Nice. Wow. That is high nickel.
Yeah, definitely. If you're investing in mining stocks, you might want to look at nickel. This is not investing advice, but check it out. That's all I'm saying.
Just look at it. Yeah, exactly. So I've got a screen capture here that we can share, and this is coming from our Twitter feed, which of course is at the Tesla Life. This is, of course, the Made in China Model Y under wrap. So they've looks like they've started to push out some blanks or some tests, and the parking lot, someone caught this photo with a drone and started to show that these are indeed Model Ys at the Giga Shanghai. So we're starting. We knew that they were, well on their way to doing this. We expected actually that there might have been some released for the end of the year as we push here for the Tesla's 500,000 figure that they're trying to obtain. We thought that there might be it might be rushed that they get some of the Ys into action in China, but at this point we haven't heard anything official besides this photo that was taken either by a drone or a skydiver about to pull his parachute. But,
definitely a drone. So I have two questions to formulate what I'm thinking on this. Did they get approval to build Model Y in China yet?
They did.
And did they get permission to sell Model Y in China yet?
they got approval that it would be eligible for a rebate of some sort, I believe.
Did they get permission to sell Model Y made in China yet?
That I don't know.
Okay. If they haven't, then if they haven't and these aren't test units, then they're going to Europe. But if they have, then I bet you these will be something that we'll hear about real soon over in China. They'll be in that DMV line.
Yeah.
I'll throw my mouse.
It makes sense that they do have the option that if there's any kind of hiccup or delay, they could ship them to Europe. Because they've already done it with the Model 3 that's already established. So that wouldn't be a big deal for them, I would imagine. But
are they delivering Model Y in Europe yet?
No, they're not.
Okay.
I don't know what the differences are in the builds. I mean, obviously, like the badging and some things are different, but that's easy to change. I don't know
badging,
if there's.
Headlights.
Yeah. I was just going to say I don't know if there's headlights or other things that are more difficult to change than just the badging.
I wonder if the headlights are firmware now, as far as which region they're going to be in. Now that they've started putting the new headlights even in the U.S.
That's true. They're doing the global headlights now. But that makes a lot more sense. If it's just software changes between the regions, then easy peasy.
Well, it'd be really cool. You cross the channel and your headlights switch from UK to French.
That would be
That's cool. Yeah. GPS sensitive headlight display method.
Yes, indeed. And I'm thinking about the autopilot switching from one side of the road to the other in countries that have different rules. So that would really freak a person out.
Well, it would freak them out maybe less than going head on in the wrong lane.
Maybe, yeah. But just have the car just immediately switch once you cross the border. That would be something.
Well, yeah, depending on what country. Some of them have bridges with overpasses and other nice things for lane changes. And in other parts, there's just a sign that says, you've entered this country, please drive on the other side. Some of them are really primitive, depending on where you're doing your crossing.
Traffic.
Please drive on the other side, or at least stay in the middle.
I have a feeling that the car will make less mistakes at it in the switchover period than we will.
Probably. Next, Tesla indicated that it has fulfilled its auto emergency braking just over a year early than what it had promised. So this, of course, is the safety feature that allows the car to do an auto brake if someone was to step in front of the car or an object was to move in front of the car's path. The Tesla software will engage the brakes and slow you down to a stop, which should be much faster than a human's interaction with the braking system. And of course, with the slight pause that we have to recognize that there's a problem, then put your foot on the brake and hammer it down. So this is a safety feature that Tesla has promised that it would be put in place, and it's about a year and a bit early they indicated that it is now something that is standard issue on a Tesla. And this is not, you don't need autopilot. This is just a standard safety feature that's coming with the vehicle.
And this is something that's confused me ever since Mark first posted it and the first person to write the article on it. I saw both of them and I didn't understand what was going on because every Tesla built since late October of 2014 has had this feature. So I didn't understand why now are they saying
it must be something that is certified with the governing body, that it's been registered and is now officially part of the books.
Boom, I certify that you're actually doing this thing you told me you're doing.
That's right. Rubber stamp.
Yes. But I mean, ever since that first Model S with the Autopilot 1 pulled off the line that we didn't know about until he released the D. He's so immature sometimes, it's funny. And then every Model X, every Model 3, every Model Y has had, and every refreshed Model S. So yeah, it's since 2014. But like Mark said, it's probably just an acknowledgement of that fact, and maybe they just got it.
Yeah, and of course, other automakers are supposed to have that in place by the end of 2021, and
Volvo's almost there.
we will see if they're able to bring these systems online as well.
Oh no, I see. Volvo is there now. They got their second in line. I think that might have been what triggered it. Maybe that's the day that Volvo got certified.
Possibly.
But nobody else is there yet.
Nobody. Yeah.
Some are really close, but Tesla and Volvo. Tesla first.
Next story. It's about the Cybertruck. This story is, I guess it's an update from Sweden. Now, the story indicates that Swedish drivers, not unlike many other drivers in the world, they have a graduated licensing system. So depending on the weight of the vehicle that you own, there's certain classifications that you're required to have an upgraded license in order to drive a vehicle that's of heavier weight. This, of course, certainly goes into place with someone like a transport driver or dump truck or things of that nature. But in Sweden, the threshold for the vehicle, a personally owned vehicle, is currently lower than what the Cybertruck already weighs. So that would mean that a person in Sweden would have to get a graduated license in order to drive a Cybertruck legally in Sweden. This I guess, bill that's proposed is that they're trying to get that amount bumped up so the Cybertruck would be in the range of a normal class driver's license could handle the operation of the Cybertruck, as well as other heavier vehicles, because it is a weight class. It's not specifically against or pro the Cybertruck. So this is, and here in North America, we have a higher rating because we see a lot of these vehicles on the road already, crew cab pickup trucks, F-250s, things of that nature, where you don't require an upgraded license in order to own and drive them. So this is Sweden trying to see if they can get some Cybertrucks in the country. And it's funny, I was speaking with Patrick just before the show started, and we kind of thought, well, what's the problem if someone does get a graduated license when they ship, a Cybertruck there? And we've already been told that Elon doesn't think that it's, that they're going to be sending any Cybertrucks to Europe because of its size.
And then that's when Australia and a couple of other countries with a little more wide open roads pleaded with him, hey, don't leave us out because they have ancient cities. And he said, okay, we'll look into it. And looks like they may be trying to get on this list as well.
Yeah, I couldn't see them blocking Australia. That makes no sense at all, because Australia is nothing but wide open spaces, besides downtowns. But
yeah, all you gotta do is move that steering yoke over to the other side of the truck. Well, not all, but I mean, as far as user interface is concerned.
Yeah.
And that one's definitely got firmware headlights at the moment.
Yeah, the one thing that I found interesting here is the group that's pushing for this. They say that sustainable vehicles, specifically battery electric vehicles, are often heavier, even for a similar size vehicle. So that's putting these at a more out of reach for people. And so it would be interesting if this upgraded weight allowance only applied to battery electric vehicles. But yeah, we'll see how it plays out.
That'd be a good incentive, really.
Yeah,
because the battery electrics are going to be newer, they're going to be safer, and you can say, hey, they must have XYZ safety features as well, like the automatic braking and the sensors, parking sensors, so that you have as many negative pedestrian interactions.
Yeah, crash avoidance.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That makes a lot of sense, because that's part of the reason that they have these weight limits and special license requirements, is so that if you're driving a bigger, heavy vehicle, you have more training and you're safer. Well, so if you add these additional safety requirements, that makes sense.
Yep.
Next story, Patrick's got about something happened at Giga Berlin that may make our race a little closer.
That's right. Yeah, frequent viewers of the show will know that I took the bet that Austin would finish before Berlin, and Berlin had a huge head start, so it was a really dumb bet, but I took it anyway. And we have had event after event in Berlin that have helped Austin to catch up, and the drama continues in Berlin. There's yet another time that Tesla has been asked to halt their building there, and this time it was for a security deposit. $120 million that was allotted for the demolition of this construction project if it doesn't get finished. And having some deposit there for that makes sense. You wouldn't want someone to build half a building and then just, declare bankruptcy and leave an eyesore. You want something to cover restoring that space or at least hauling away the garbage they leave if they were to go bankrupt. 120 million seems like a lot of money for some haul-away, demolition and haul-away. But that's what the German law required, so that's what Tesla's been asked to do. And then they have now been given an extension until January 4th to make that deposit. And so they're back on again. Oh, but wait, there's more. They've been asked to stop clearing of trees in some parts, some sections over environmental concerns. So the drama continues. And go Austin. We'll see.
Yeah, it's stopped again in the cardboard forest. We don't know why this particular one, but maybe the snakes, after waking up with the pots and pans, fell asleep on the road. I don't know. But we've got another stoppage in, again, a certain area, not all of it. But
right.
It's interesting that, again, this high environmental cost at Giga Berlin, they're holding Tesla accountable to some pretty high standards that they have. So, and again, is all of it real? Is all of it? Some of it is, certainly. But of course, Tesla did agree to the terms of building a factory at that site and have to abide by the rules that were laid out for them. So I don't think it's going to be a major stop, but man, am I going to be upset if Patrick wins this bet after all this time. I'll be really upset.
Yeah, I've got 3-1 odds on this no money bet.
easily. Oh, man.
We did predict this when they first told us that it was going to be in Germany. We said, oh, really? How is this going to compare to
Shanghai?
Shanghai, yeah. How is it going to compare to China? And we had predicted they would not be anywhere near as fast, and man, they're holding up that end of the of our speculation.
Well, these are still with the modular construction. Certainly, it seemed it was going up faster. And now they are working on the inside of a number of buildings. Machinery is actually even being installed. The presses are there. They are putting lines in place. The paint shop is under construction inside. So there's many things that are ongoing. It's just that. Yeah, we did say at the beginning that Shanghai is on a different level, and
administratively at least,
it certainly is. Red tape wise, there's no red tape in China.
No red tape. The only red tape we saw was on the banner, holding the banner.
Yeah,
up.
Exactly. That was the only red tape we've seen there for sure.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's really smart of Tesla. It's okay if you can't clear trees and you can't build. For what we have, let's start doing the interior. They're doing everything they can to keep forward progress going, which is really smart.
Plus, the building is huge; it's colossal. So, I mean, it's not like doing stuff on the inside really affects, as long as you're, a module or two over from where the next exterior work is being done. But even then, as long as you're not right up against the wall when the wall comes down, you'll be all right.
Another quick story here is that there was some hidden code found in the Tesla website recently that indicated a subscribe button that was showing up in the purchase section. So this, of course, is hidden from the public. You can't see it. We've got some people that are able to get into the code a little bit and view some links and some other information, and they believe that the subscribe is getting ready, of course, for the FSD subscribe that we hear is coming. Elon has said early in 2021. So just a bit of someone that's sniffing now around trying to find things, knowing that they believe it is coming soon, and they have found some evidence, they believe, for that. So just a quick little story.
Did he say early or did he say January?
He said early.
Okay.
Yeah. So with that, next.
I've got one for you.
To counter Patrick's story, we've got one about, of course, the other big construction progress going on is at Giga Texas. And the speed of the actual construction there has ramped up significantly with more equipment and more assets on site. So they, of course, went to a 24-hour clock recently, where they are now building more rapidly. And as Patrick had mentioned, they're catching up to, they're at least gaining some ground now. But that is something that, I'm sorry, Casey, I took your story. I thought you were leading me to take it. My mistake.
No.
But, you can continue. Go ahead.
So
I've already let
Texas,
the cat out of the bag.
like Mark said, they over in Tasmania, and they called it in switched to plaid mode over at Terra, Texas. They've got a significant amount of the building complete. They added 12 more modules to the building, and it is looking like Patrick might stand a real chance, especially if Germany keeps up with the interruptions.
I'm going to have to call someone at Tesla and make sure that they're on those deposits every time. Maybe if I put it in my calendar and I just send them a little email and say, hey, this deposit's due tomorrow, don't forget.
Sorry, we gave the last of it to Casey.
Yeah, I got a bet riding in this, guys. Don't screw this up.
Give him 120 loonies to make sure they get there. Just so you can win a bet.
Oh man, yep. So we will see. FSD, of course, we indicated this earlier. It will arrive in 2021 based on Elon's tweet response to someone on Twitter, and indicated that it's going to be early 2021. Question to you guys: is it better to 1, purchase it outright, 2, lease it, or 3, forget about it altogether?
Well, it's probably going to be on, since looking at the way that Musk has worded it, the early 2021. So if it's not in January, it will be like March 29th, just in time for the first quarter. And I would say if you are leasing your car and you didn't lease it with FSD included, then I would go with the monthly subscription. It makes no sense to pay the full, was it now 10,000, 11,000? Only to turn the car back in. You're not going to get the money back. But
yep. If
you lease it, then you can just turn it off. Like, hey, you have the car. I don't want this subscription anymore. And if you own your car, whether you bought it with the car or you bought it afterwards, Musk has said that the software licensing will cost more than buying it outright. So at that point, I would think that it would make more financial sense to not rent the software. Especially like with my insurance company, they basically told me up front, hey, you need to buy it outright. You need to buy it before the car is even constructed. Otherwise, we're not going to give you any money should we write off the car for any reason. If that's not on the build sheet or on the Monroney or on any official documents, then we're going to consider it as aftermarket accessory, like adding some speakers, and they won't cover it. So if you're in my situation, then not only do you want to buy it outright, but you want to buy it outright before
when you order it
goes into manufacture, or before you pick it up if you buy a unit that's already constructed.
Interesting.
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely some things to play out in your head as to whether you're buying or whether you're leasing, how long you're going to keep the car. All of those can play into effect, and all 3 options can be something that would be useful to you depending on your situation.
Yep.
So
one thing that would be cool is if they lock in the price per customer. So say you're somebody who gets into a lot of car crashes or something, you start leasing it on your first car, and then you just never let that subscription lapse. Kind of like your Adobe software license. Your price doesn't go up as long as you don't let it lapse. That would be cool, but I don't see Tesla giving that money up.
Yeah. All right. With that, next story. Here's something out of the blue. Elon was prompted on Twitter about Tesla supercharger use by other manufacturers. And he came back with a surprise answer saying, yes, just some of them are on the low key at this point. So he's indicating that other manufacturers could or are using the system, or it's been discussed at least, and they don't want to let people know who those groups would be or how they're going to use it. So it's, as he mentioned, just low key at this point. They're not indicating who those groups are at this point. There's been a number of different speculations out there about who they would be. Maybe they're smaller type companies. Maybe they're some of the three-wheeled companies that are coming out with, I guess those would be almost recreational vehicles. Certainly road legal, but it could be one of those. But I don't think it's someone like Ford. I really don't think it's someone large like that. But they're not saying who it is, but I guess the speculation door is open.
I would agree with a lot of the speculation that Aptera is one of them, because we've seen the Aptera now, the 2.0 car with the Tesla charge port, and during Q&A, one of the founders said the word supercharge, and him being a Tesla owner, he knows that supercharge is a very specific term, and I don't think he was trying to Kleenex or Xeroxify the concept of DC fast charge. And so I agree with that speculation that Aptera may be one of them. But as far as who else might be it, if it's not a small manufacturer, like Mark said, it's definitely not a Ford. But like, say it's one of the German companies, then one of two things is probably happening here. Either it's in Europe where they can do the CCS and they can make sure nobody's around and they can just plug in and it works, or they're driving Teslas and doing their evaluation with the Tesla car, or they've taken the Tesla skin off and put it on one of their mules, and they're we can't tell it's not a Tesla because it looks like one. Or I mean, that's the only way it could happen, because if you see a Ford or Chevy or anything like that roll up to an American supercharger with that special port that we have, it would be quite obvious, versus over in, like we saw in Germany, where they had that week where all the cars were charging for free.
And could that be part of this? Because they made a software change to those units, and was it done because they knew a third party was going to start using it? And,
they allowed it, and they just
they had to roll it back immediately because they realized that, hey, we just opened it up to everybody with a CCS. So that makes a lot of sense that it could be European based, where this third party manufacturer is, as opposed to North America, where, like Casey said, it's pretty obvious if something other than a Tesla rolls up to a plug here in Canada or the US or Mexico for that matter. It would be known very much by the Tesla owners frequenting those superchargers.
There's also the possibility for South Korea and Japan, because they use our port as well, and South Korea just got the CCS adapter.
That's right.
Yeah.
So they could disguise a supercharger in another person's box and then test their other people's car on that, and nobody knows it's a supercharger.
Yep, all possibilities.
Mm-hmm. I'd love to see what happens with this.
Our next story is about a new area getting their first supercharger.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll just share this screen here, like so. And that's right. It's a Hawaiian island has been flagged to receive 4 supercharger stalls at a single supercharger site, along with a number of L2s that are going to be installed around as well. But the controversy here is that this particular island in Hawaii is not the major population center. In fact, it's the lowest population center on any of the Hawaiian islands. But I will leave it to Patrick for him to let us know who lives on that island.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so this island it now has a hotel and a resort there. So the majority of the population are people that work at the hotel, and the Supercharger is at the hotel. And the majority of this island is owned by Larry Ellison, who happens to be on Tesla's board. You might know him from Oracle fame, and so a billionaire. And this is really going to be there's a Model X that the hotel owns that they use for shuttling, and that's primarily going to be that, and maybe Larry Ellison's own personal Tesla. That's about the only vehicles that are going to use this. So it's really just Larry's Supercharger.
Right. The question there is, will it show up on the map as a public station, or will it be one of the private stations like we see in New York and other places where...
I guess that's up to Larry, isn't it?
Well, indeed, but I mean, speculation continues. Will we see it on the map?
Yeah, I bet with the population and how many Teslas are actually on the island, because of course you can't get to it without floating it over on a boat or taking it there on a cargo plane. I would say that Larry would make it public because there's no one that's got another car that could plug in.
And on top of
that, there may be a few, but it's certainly far and few between.
And on top of that, the amount of the chance that they have free supercharging is really low. So they'll at least pay for the electricity that they take from him.
So we're going to take in maybe a GoFundMe and see if we can get one of our cars shipped there and see if Larry will let us charge.
It's the only way to know for sure.
The service centers that do have a supercharger, they don't show up on the map either, but the car will supercharge. It's fine.
Yeah, being on the West Coast, I'm the closest to Hawaii.
You're the closest.
I guess I'll sacrifice
volunteers tribute
for the podcast.
Start packing your car in bubble wrap tonight, Patrick. We're going to get it going.
Yeah, we're going to put it on a boat because that's cheaper versus airlifting it.
Well, I guess it depends on how long he can be without his car. So,
I'm not driving much now.
Right.
COVID, so
there you go. Ship it
over, and then when it gets there, I'll fly to meet it.
And next story, Patrick Scott. What do we got concerning Apple?
Oh yeah. So Musk recently tweeted something that was interesting that I thought we should share here. And that he revealed that he was looking to potentially sell Tesla to Apple. And this was in 2017, before Model 3 rollout was going great. And who is the current head of Apple?
Tim Cook.
Tim Cook. Yeah, Tim Cook would not even take the meeting with Musk to discuss this. And I guess that their merger and acquisition teams had been talking previously, and that deal had fallen through. They couldn't reach any agreement between Tesla's M&A team and Apple's M&A team, so they just scrapped the deal. And Apple really missed out. They missed out. And now they're talking about doing an electric car again. We've heard of Project Titan on again, off again, several times for multiple years now. And currently it's on again. And they might end up buying somebody else. Who knows? Maybe Lucid or somebody else, because they missed their chance on Tesla.
Yeah, the talk this week was about the new Titan program, and its monocell battery was the talk of the town. So is Apple going to actually do something? Who knows? They certainly have the money to sit back and wait and, not jump at anything until they believe they could get in there and do some domination of a market. But it's interesting that Elon had made that thing saying it was a factor of 10 difference when it was being offered from what it is obviously today. But yeah, Apple missed a sweetheart opportunity of even jumping in and maybe not even being in control, but being like an angel investor to get in there and help Tesla out when they were believing that there could be some troubled waters ahead.
Mm-hmm. Even before confirming this, Elon had mentioned that the monocell battery, unless they meant that it was a structural pack, like he discussed at Battery Day, that it is impossible because there are no materials that would allow a single battery cell to drive a car like what we would expect.
Yeah, he was saying that the
Maybe
power
power.
is just not there in that single monocell, unless, of course, as you mentioned, it's bridged or somehow put into a pack that is sharing assets. So
Yeah. When you
it's
look at the kids Power Wheel or the Tesla toy, those use the Power Wheel uses a six cell or so lead battery, and the Tesla Radio Flyer uses several 18650s. So I mean,
Yeah,
they're
I don't know.
absolutely
We don't
self-charging.
know a whole lot about what Apple's planning, if at all, because this is all leaks. It's not
leaks.
public.
Yeah.
And I heard another one today that they're going to do an 800-volt system for the Apple car, which is completely different from what we were just hearing, which would have been a lower voltage system. So, yeah, there's lots of shoes yet to be dropped for Project Titan.
For sure. And 800 volts is not unrealistic. Porsche's doing it, so
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, it has a few nice advantages in charging speed and lower current, but then it also has some corrosion problems and other things. So there's no free lunch.
right.
You're always taking away to get pluses in the other column.
Exactly.
There's trade-offs at every turn, no matter what you do.
Yeah, in fact, Porsche walked that 800 volt charging back. They said basically, this is a nice to have on a road trip, but please don't do this every day.
Yeah.
But so will you have to flip the car over and plug it in that way? Will it come with a Volvo charger?
It'll be a proprietary charging standard for sure.
Hopefully not.
There's a great video, I believe it was somewhere on Facebook or YouTube, where it shows a electric car being pulled up into a stall. These two arms come out of the wall, grab the car, pick it up, and then another arm comes and flicks the bottom off the car, and the two huge AA cells drop out, and they put in two new ones and close it up again. So
yeah, that was a Model 3.
Yeah.
But with that, I mean, like Patrick said, are they going to go proprietary? Are they even going to include a mobile charger? I mean, because they just use the environmental aspect is why they don't do it with their phones, even though we all know it's a monetary aspect, number one, not the environmental side. And the software should be nice because they can integrate with your phone. You don't need to worry about whether they have paid for CarPlay because they made it. The question then would be, do they have Android Auto? And the answer is probably not.
Right.
Yeah, probably wouldn't. Yeah, absolutely.
We've detected a BlackBerry. We've shut down the Bluetooth.
We didn't know what that was at all. But well, with that, I would like to. This is the we're getting close to the end of the year. We want to wish all of you who watch the show, who subscribe, who support us by giving us a thumbs up. That's a hint. Give us a thumbs up right now. And if you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? But other than that, we would like to wish you all a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. We will be back next Wednesday, in between the holidays. So we're not going anywhere, but we do wanted to reach out to you and your families. We hope you're having a safe and happy holiday and enjoy yourselves. We're going to get this COVID thing under control eventually, and there is some light at the end of the tunnel we're starting to see, and at least that's a nice thing to be going out at the end of the year with. So we thank you all for being with us this year, and with that, Casey, what have you got to say for the end of the show?
So I've got a couple of videos that I put out this week about mostly software updates, but also towing with the Tesla Model X, and then I put up a really short video because my car did something that surprised me. I'm not in the City Streets beta, but it did slow for some train tracks. And then after I crossed over the train tracks, it sped up. And a couple of other items that you check out. It's like a 30-second video. Check it out. You can find that at youtube.com/KCGreen. That's KACEYGREEN. And then Luna, my wife, we are going to attempt to make you guys a CyberTruck surprise. So for photos of that, if we're successful, check out the Tesla Live Twitter. And for video, check out that same YouTube channel I just told you about.
Fantastic. I love nothing like a cliffhanger for the end of the show, Casey. That's great.
Absolutely.
Patrick, what have you got for us today?
Hey, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us. These Tesla chats are a lot of fun, and I'm glad you could be here with us. like Mark said, there's light at the end of the tunnel. We have vaccines coming. You don't want to be the last person to die from COVID, so stay safe. We don't want to lose a viewer. I'm with the Oregon Electric Vehicle Association. You can find us at oeva.org, and I blog occasionally at carswithcords.net.
Fantastic. Well, let's roll that music, and we will see you all next week in between the holidays. Stay safe. Have a happy holiday, and we will see you soon.
Stay positive, test negative.